Scott Canyon, you prop that door open.
Okay, good morning. Welcome to the Milwaukee Curling Club and the 69th Annual Men's Invitational Bonspiel. We're about to begin the finals of the first through fifth events, and we're having the procession with the bagpiper of all the curlers. And after they finish filing out and begin play, we'll pick it back up. Thank you.
John Pyashowski, holding the camera, and Jeff Stefik have been running our web stream and have done a fantastic job. All right. Steve Keith's our piper today. He's our vice president. He's going to take you all the way to the end, to the nipper, and then along, and walk it down and wait on the horn line.
Okay, once again, good morning. Welcome to the Milwaukee Curling Club in Cedarburg, Wisconsin. We are here for the finals of the 69th Annual Men's Invitational Bonspiel. Playing in our feature game on Sheet 3, the finals of the first event will be the Terry Walsh rink from Milwaukee Curling Club, and they will be playing the Mike Moore rink representing Mayfield in Ohio. I'm joined by my colleague, friend, and sometimes teammate, Gary Lindsay. Gary, how are you this morning?
Doing well. Looking forward to a good final here. So two good teams. Obviously, we know the Walsh team very well since we play against them on a weekly basis. The Michael Moore team's a very good team from Mayfield. Mike's been curling for a long time. I've actually curled against his dad several times, so not Mike. But should be a good game. I think it'll be played fairly straight up. Should work out pretty well.
Yeah, always fun to see the finals of the first event. It means both of these teams are undefeated here at the Bonspiel. We expect, a high level of curling, and hopefully we'll get a good game. Guys are just finishing their warm-up slides. Looks like they have flipped, so we'll be ready to go get underway very soon. The Walsh rink from Milwaukee will be Red Rocks. Looks like Moore is going to have the hammer. Milwaukee lead Chad Dillevo is going to get us started. Then we'll get into the first end. We'll pick up action and report scores on the other sheets. We do have finals in the second, third, fourth, and fifth events happening. But obviously we're primarily here to watch and cover the finals of the first. While this is the Walsh rink from Milwaukee, Terry owned the invite. Their skip was unable to play, and that is why Fred Blizzard is both calling the game and scoring the Red Rocks. So we might even slip into referring it to the Blizzard rink, or here's what Fred's doing. Terry Walsh is playing third. Mike Miller is playing second. Again, this is lead Chad Dillevo's opening rock. Gary, did they call specifically for off the rings or in?
They did call off the ring, so
Okay.
Aggressive right off the bat.
Yeah. They've been playing all weekend. No one should be unsure of how the ice is going to behave. Fred, not scared to mix it up, so he goes top rings, and looks like Mike is going to go right around it. Fine, nice aggressive call. You could also go corner, but not much else to do when there's a good center guard up. So this is lead Roger Meredith. His first rock. Looking to come around to the top four. Looks like it's hanging quite a bit, unless that had to have picked or lost its handle. Going sideways and through. So, big opportunity for Blizzard Walsh here. Come around their own center guard. Again, Fred tapped. If they get half around it, give himself another rock up top. That's going to be just fine. Chad looking to come around with the intern. Sweepers giving it a moment now. Looks like it needs to curl a bit, and I don't think it was lacking for weight. Curling up nice now. I think they're going to get plan A or B of what they were hoping for. Don't really want to stagger those. I think the idea of, hey, the short it's okay is that you have some access to both. Now you've got staggered guards, and if Moore can hook around one, he'll be in good shape.
That rock ended up in just a tricky spot. That's part of the trick with trying to come around there or leaving it high. Sometimes you get stuck in the middle.
Yeah. It's not exactly what they were looking for. If they were going to be short, they'd rather be side by side, and then they'd have an opportunity to run back in the event that something like this happens. Nice shot from Roger, dialed in the weight. Moore now sitting one with the hammer. He's half buried under the Walsh center guards. So Fred has asked his second, Mike Miller, to just, follow them down, get to the face of that yellow, Now, a little tap would be all right. He doesn't really want to tap and roll into the open, but basically just a freeze to that yellow.
Looks like he's got plenty of weight. They're not really not on it at all.
If they can get a little tap it out into the open on the other side, tap it back behind the tee, that's fine. Got it all the way out. So that works out fine. Blizzard is now shot. That rock is available. Both teams have already seen this line and this weight a couple of times, so I think Moore just wants him to follow him down, and if you get a little inside roll back all the way under those center guards, he'll be back in control.
Yeah, Moore's throwing a little bit more weight, throwing a little bit of more control weight to try to hit and flop over versus kind of rolling it around. But this looks a little wide.
Yeah, he's got all of the rock, and honestly, you don't want to do that. Had they hit it a little high and rolled wide, that wouldn't have been too bad. Force Blizzard to decide if he wants to hit an open rock or be aggressive and come around. But with the throw through, Blizzard sitting 1. He wants to improve this rock, tap it to the button, fully undercover, roll this shooter out of the way. See if that would force Moore to blow it up. Just depends on, how well they can get this under. Looks close.
Yeah, looks pretty good.
Yeah. Maybe curling. Looks like it's curling up a bit on him. Honestly, if they could skate past. Okay.
Well, that's good there.
Yeah, I mean, Moore, he can see all of that. He can throw some weight at it and either roll. If he gets a little thin, he can roll under. If he gets a little thin, it might rattle off the back of that shot rock. Got some options. This is Moore second. Chris Glass, this is his last rock. Sweeper's not giving it a lick yet. Looks like it's going to hit roll a little wide. The Blizzard still in control. Sitting shot under some center guards, top of the 4-foot. Fred's going to ask his third, Terry Walsh, to throw a little controlled hit. See if they can get another rock under the center.
Yeah, he'll look to stack these underneath those two guards that are staggered on top. You can get it underneath there. Moore's going to probably have to move some granite on the front of the house there.
Yeah, he's going to have to blow it up at some point unless they keep leaving him rocks that he's able to access. Look, it must be a little tight. Pretty good. Nice shot, Terry. Sitting 1-2 under staggered center guards. Yep. We haven't watched Moore play, so we can't say what he's going to do in every situation, but he's gone straight to the rocks off the house, and he's looking for potentially a double peel, and if he gets it, he ought to get some action on those shot rocks. I mean, the way they're set up, he ought to be able to open it wide open and get access to one or both of those rocks, but we'll see how it goes. We've seen plenty of nose peels and could easily stuff it on the second rock, so let's take a look. Big backswing. I approve. This is his third. Matt Carlson's first rock. Looks like it's a little thin. He gets the top one.
You don't see that lift delivery like that very often anymore.
I love it.
It hurt my back just watching it.
Waist high, I believe. That wasn't the little baby swing that people who grew up swinging sometimes still like to just rock it a little. That was all of it. I imagine they're just looking to put this one back. One of the rocks is still guarded. Hard to guard all of the rocks, on the center, but if they can kind of stagger these.
I hope they stagger him
Again.
back so we can watch this backswing again.
Yeah. Watch this end all day. All right, pretty good. Set it up, kept a little distance. They're a little further apart.
That's a better spot there than it was
Yeah.
before.
Mike's going to leave that one alone. He's going to go back to the guard that was not moved on the last shot. I think he thinks he can get action on one or both of the rocks in the ring. So here we go. Another full backswing. Whoa. Oh, wow. Moves them all.
Great shot.
Big swing, a little shaky on the delivery, but results are what matters. He gets the guard, rolls to a corner, removes both shot rocks. Things looking much better for Moore with the hammer. No center guards. Wizards, he's going to go into force mode, and if he can get something under his red. Well, Gary, I mean, he could peel that yellow rock if he wanted. That would just give Moore an opportunity to come under the other guard. So
Fred generally is pretty aggressive most cases, so he'll look to put him under pressure here. Hasn't seen him throw the first rock yet. If he can get this half buried top 8 foot, we'll get to see how Mike attacks the rock.
Yep. Yeah, a little out-turn draw for Fred, who is a lefty. He'll be looking to curl around his red, kind of just off center guard. Probably get it to the full 4 edge of the button. Light and needs to curl.
It's curling up. Just a little light.
Well, doesn't get it there, so now advantage Moore. Wants to get something under this corner, although he wants to get 4
go
foot.
straight
If he
to-
doesn't get to the 4 foot, Fred goes there and ruins his end.
Yeah, he's got to go 4 here just to be the first one to the button.
It's somewhat tight.
Just put a rock
One
in
of
the
those ones.
court.
Yeah, if it's heavy, if it hangs a bit, it's not impossible to chip off of his own corner guard. He could potentially even split him on. I don't think that's his call, but it's often something you'll put in your vices in the back of his head. Like, hey, if I'm a little heavy, if this hangs, we have some options on tapping this rock.
Yeah, the way Fred's rock just came in on the last shot, there's plenty of room to get through that port to the pin.
So again, this is Mike Moore's first rock
Looks a
with
little hot.
hammer in the first end. It is hanging and a little hot. Gets a little chip. Does get it on. So that top rock is on. It is fully visible for Fred Blizzard. I'd imagine we're going to see a little controlled take. If he can flop under and make it count, fine. If not, if he rolls out or away, give Moore an opportunity for the blank.
Yeah,
Pretty good first end so far.
Yeah, I mean, he hits this right on the nose. This end's building for a blank after really that big double.
Yeah.
Big double by the third.
Triple. You got the guard and both rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, no need for Fred to get overly cute with this. Played a nice end. forced Moore to chase him. If they come out of this with a blank, that's fine. We'll start over. Punches it through. Nothing in the rings. Imagine Moore will throw it through. We've been proven wrong once already last night, but yeah, this will be a throw through. Moore will keep the hammer, and we'll move on to the second end. All right, so blank in the first. Moore keeps the hammer. No score here in our men's first event finals. 3 of the other 4 games still playing their first end for no scores to report. Those games are Apel versus Wright in the second event. Montalbano versus Lancourt in the third event. Kenya versus Taylor in the fourth event. And over on sheet 5, McClellan versus Telfer in finals of the fifth event. So as those games start having some scores to report, we'll run them down at least between ends here in our game. Blizzard, Walsh, lead, Chad Dillevue. Back in the hack, his rock's on the way. Fred, I imagine, going right back to a center guard.
He called the center guard. Yeah, he'll deal with it if it slides in. Looks like it will here to the back of the 4. Be interesting
not
to see
uncommon. Our Rice typically picks up nicely after that first end. Get some bodies in the building, it heats it up a little. Rock, not a huge threat, but it's early in the game and there's no score. Mike is going to elect to hit it rather than be aggressive, go corner. That's fine. It's not like it was in the back 12 if he wants to hit this. Not just give Blizzard the 4-foot. That's fine. It's early. So Chad Dillevue playing his first hit of the game. Looking for the nose. Harry Walsh trying to get it to curl a bit. Hits rolls to the back 12. It does hang on. I like this. Moore's going to ignore that rock. That is not a rock that you should let bother you. If anything, it helps you. You put this corner up, that rock in the back can only help. I love that setup when you've got a corner and then a rock under it in the back 12. It feels like you can just start piling rocks in there.
Yeah, this is, again, this is the aggressive call, which is good. This gives them a chance to corner guards when you have the hammer or give you the ability to score 2. Is how you create your offense. So but this looks like it's going to drive a little deep. Maybe they'll try to drag it down here, sit it somewhere a foot off the top of it.
Going to work out nicely. Yeah, that wasn't the call. That's probably your next best bet if you're going to slide in. That is pretty well frozen. Force Blizzard to either. He is going to try the big hit, see if they can blow it up. Other option would have been to draw down to it, and then you start bringing some bigger numbers into play. So even if they fail to remove this yellow, they get the red off the back. Moore starts thinking, hey, I've got a chance at my 2, but plenty of shots still to come.
A little tight. Chad is
very
on
tight.
it hard.
I don't know if they're going to get a piece. Get me inside. Okay. Well, that's what we thought. He removes the red backing, doesn't stick the shooter. Yellow stays. Moore's got a rock behind the tee. Gary, you could go corner on that side, but it's getting a little later in the end. I think he's just going to try to split the rings, get his deuce that way.
Yeah, you can split. You can split here. I may have thrown the corner one more time. It's a little bit easier to create more offense when you throw that corner than it is to split the house. At this level, don't normally see 6 straight hit and stays.
Agree. Yeah, it's both are fine. Kind of depends on how you've played throughout the year. He made it, which obviously makes it look much better. He's evened him up. Yeah, there's not a double there with these rocks. But Fred does want to hit and roll back in that direction. See if he can get things back over on that side where you might eventually have a double. Or a jam. Or a miss. Another hit. This one's looking better. Harry's trying to keep it straight. Going to get a little thin. He is going to roll this way. It's going to come get it under the yellow. That's fine.
That's a good spot.
Yeah.
Couldn't ask for much more there.
Yeah, Moore's going to keep trying to hit and roll back away, but eventually he's going to start running out of rings. Or get too cute, roll out, give Blizzard a chance to hit and move on to the third iron. Chris Glass's second rock of the second end. But they're getting close to the nose. So again, it's fine. Moore sitting 2. They're behind the tee. They are grouped together, and Wiz has got a chance for a little crotch double. If he gets one thick, he could hit and roll on top of the other. Well played.
Yeah, that's the reason why I said it's a little too early for me to split the house. Especially when he threw the corner guard on top of a red rock in the back, or opponent's rock, and then he had his own rock in the back. Early enough in the end, you throw the corner guard again. You're dealing with your rocks, splitting the house. Just tough to split the house on rocks 4 or 5, and maintain the and get your 2. Right, rock 6, different story there. But try not to split the house generally until, at least I don't, until at least rock 5.
Well, Blizzard Brink made you look smart for this end as they executed well. They, just like we said, they hit and rolled back over there. Moore wasn't able to split them back up. Terry Walsh is presented with the double, and he makes it. So now Blizzard without Hammer sitting 1. Kind of setting up for a blank, although this
might be
could be missed. Got a piece. No, all right. Matt Carlson throws a normal weight hit after his upweight peels of the first end. Gets enough of the Blizzard rock to chip it out. We now have an empty house. In all likelihood, setting up for the blank. Obviously, Moore will need to likely make a hit and roll out.
Yeah, so I'd like to throw this on the top 4, leave it in the center of the house. Look like they're playing on the corner of the 4. That broom really wasn't top 4 broom.
Kind of moving it around a little.
Yeah.
Haven't laid a broom to it yet. Looks like it's going to check up somewhere. Or will. Moore's going to look to hit and stay. Obviously gets a flash, then all of a sudden his deuce is back in play, but we're not expecting any just outright misses here in this game. Matt Carlson's 4th hit of the game is away. Sweepers look happy with it.
He's
Be
hanging
hanging a
over
bit,
just a
yeah.
little.
A bit. It's going to hit and roll out. Gives Fred a chance to just basically put it back. Similar spot. Here we go, Fred Blizzard skipping the Walsh rink out of the Milwaukee Curling Club. This is the first rock for him in the 2nd end. Without hammer, open house. Draw somewhere around the 4-foot. See if they can find a way to force Mike Moore.
This looks a little heavy. Not quite going to get to us in the broadcast booth, but close.
Protect your wine glass. No massive damage here. I mean, he wants to make that and force Moore to make some shots to get his blank, but good morning to Alan Roberts visiting us here in the booth. Good to see him out at the club this weekend.
Yeah, so Mike will throw this out on the, try to throw this towards the edge of the rings in the 12-foot, make it harder for Fred to hit and roll back to the center. So trying to keep your blank here is why you throw this out to the outside corner. And the hits are a little tougher out there too as well.
Yeah. One nice thing for Moore here, one thing the Blizzard throw through is gives Mike an opportunity to throw a draw, which he hasn't done yet. You know, with low stakes, get a feel for the ice. That as a skip, that never bothers me to get to throw a couple and see how the speed is. Well swept. They looked a little anxious, but they put it on the tee. Give Fred a chance to hit and stick. Make Moore hit and roll out to get his blank. And we may be going for a 2nd straight blank end, but it hasn't been for a lack of action or rocks in the rings. First end was very exciting, and you get that triple and move on to the next, but it's still been good curling. We had Moore had that opportunity for a deuce. Only a nice double by the Blizzard rink to get us back to this point, but not for a lack of aggressive play or shot making.
That's fine on the nose there. Chris will pick up the weight a little bit, catch this on the outside edge of the rock, and roll away. I think a super tight broom there. This rock will be, Mike can't throw it pretty hard, so this will be nice and crisp.
Will he lift? Question.
Don't know that answer. I don't think so.
I don't think so. Heel weight hit from Mike Moore's away. Looking to catch it high and roll out. Sweeper is on it.
They're a little tight.
Does look tight. Looks like nose to the inside. Nope.
Get it out. Oh. Cannot get out. Hit a little too thick on the top side of there.
Yeah.
Try to get out, but he gets his one. Fred's fine with that.
It's early.
It's early, they'll be good. So
a win for the Blizzard rink. They play 2 good ends. They get a force.
It'll be interesting to see here now that the hammer is flipped. Does Mike throw this up hot top, be aggressive, or does he put it top 4-foot, try to play a clean game? Looks like he's calling it up top. So when you're back here behind the glass, throwing it up top is way more fun.
Yeah. Yeah, he gets a single. Maybe if he gets a 2, he thinks, hey, I'm up, see what Blizzard wants to do about generating a 2, but he gets a single. Looking for the rock off the rings, get a chance to come around it, see if Blizzard goes around it or puts a corner. And we're not going to find out because this looks to be drifting in at best. Going to hang around somewhere in the rings. Oh,
Maybe.
come on, Fred. Okay, it hangs in the back. Saw this midway through last end. Rock back 12 off the center line. Give Blizzard to put a corner on top of it, and then they can start coming around it with some catchers in back. Hopefully, Chad puts this corner up. We'll see how that end plays out. They must have decided it was hot early. Started sweeping to see if they get a piece of the yellow, which they do. Both rocks out of the ring while the red remains in play. We'll start the end over. Or calling for that center guard again.
This looks a little better out of his hand. It's a little drifting. The ice is pretty quick.
Not much body language out of the sweepers, other than we won't be sweeping this. Red's going to get this one out. The third end, the 4th or 5th game of the weekend. I don't think the ice has changed much. People can take a minute to get used to it. That one drifts through. Fred's got the hammer. Did he call corner or in?
It's corner again.
Corner, okay. While that red rock isn't counting, it is just off the rings and could certainly be a potential jam if they do get a corner and some rocks under it. Again, we're not going to find out. This is drifting in. Flash through. All right. Another one through the rings. Does he go center, or does he now just say, bring it in, let's go to the 4-foot? Looks like he called for the center guard.
He's going to change turns here, try to get it off that fast path. See if they can slow one down here to get it to the top of the house.
This is more second Chris Glass. His first rock of the end. We've had some couple of throw-throughs. Now we're getting a look at a center guard. I think they're going to get it this time. Long, high center. If I know Fred, he's going to come right around that. But we should get some play in the rings here, Gary.
Yeah, Mike wanted that to be probably 6 to 8 feet deeper, but where it is now, it's all into the 4-foot now.
Yeah, he doesn't want it up there. That just invites Blizzard to come around and makes for a long run back. No tap back opportunities with that yellow. But we'll see how well the Blizzard ring can execute. See if they can bury one here. Get control of this end. Sweeping a little early for line. Got it going a little deep. That's going to skate right through. Interesting. The ice isn't lightning fast. It probably isn't faster than it's been all weekend. It's catching a couple of guys off guard, though, as we've seen, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 throw-throughs this end. Turn off your phone, Gary. So with the Blizzard throw through, now Moore gets a chance to come around his center guard. Next one going to hang on. It is. Hangs in the back of the rings. Not a huge change in the end. Come into play for, a force, but Blizzard still an opportunity to get in control of this end, come around the center guard, force Moore to chase him. Someone to get one to stick in the rings.
Yeah, that rock in the back 12 really shouldn't have too much effect on this end.
No.
This looks
It
better.
looks better. Get a little finish on it, or is it coming out the other side? All right. There we go. We have a made shot. Blizzard rink with hammer. Puts one right on the tee line. I think we're a little off center. Moore probably has a little bit of a look at that. They are not going to chase it with a hit. He's calling to draw it down to it. Probably can get there and be shot. Doesn't really want to tap it too far. He can get right to the corner of that. Whether he gets shot or not, he'll be perfectly happy. Really starts shrinking things for the Blizzard rink in terms of getting a 2. Matt Carlson's rock is on its way.
It's the first draw that he's thrown this game, so it'll be interesting to see what his weight is here. Dial it down.
Ice is obviously fast. We're seeing a lot of glide. This one, looked nice around midway, and it skates fully into the back 12.
So Fred can take complete control of this end here if he can get this to the top 8. Just get it all the way down there.
Yeah, he wants to get another one sunk under there. Terry Walsh throwing his first rock at the end. Hanging a bit. Dilla was trying to get it to curl some. They elect to do with it. It's starting to curl now. They can at least get second out of it.
It's top 4.
No. Top 4, but it is visible. I think we're going to see the waist high lift again.
No, I think he's got to throw control on here. He's got to move a little bit around that corner guard.
I think so.
I don't think he's going to throw monster weight here.
I think he throws it hard enough. They think they just, even if they catch it higher than nose, they might think they get these both moving. Although I'm looking at that broom, Gary. I think, unfortunately, you're correct. That's not the broom for the big lift. Not looking just to come down to you. This is a controlled hit. Did he think he might get a little inside roll on top of that red, in front of the red? Unlikely to get shot.
This looks pretty good. Sweep it right just off nose.
Just going to stuff it.
No. Need to hit that a little bit cleaner on the nose.
Blizzard has hammer. They're sitting 1. Moore sitting 2, 3, and 4. None of those are particularly threatening. Blizzard has hammer. He'd have plenty of options if he needs to get to the 4 foot later, but calling for a little hit on that rock that Moore just threw rather than draw. Interesting. So first of all, Terry makes the shot. Hits and rolls to sit 1-2 for the Blizzard rink. I think Fred forgot that those 2 rocks were sitting off the rings and stopped the more rock as it was, would have been leaving the house. So what they've done is just tried to approximate what would have happened. Put that yellow back, assuming it would have jammed on that back red. Shouldn't become a huge issue. More important is the fact they made the hit. They're sitting 1-2. There's a little bit of an angle for Moore to either hit and roll on top of that shot rock. Double is there. It's a little short and steep. Moore's an accomplished junior curler. I mean, he won't be afraid of these hits.
Yeah, I'm thinking he's going to try to throw this, hit quarter of the rock. Should get you over there. I like this guy. I like this is what he wants to throw. He's going to pull. He's going to throw hits when he can.
Yeah, you start throwing draws or freezes here. You bring Blizzard's deuce. You start bringing some bigger numbers into play. Absolutely the right call. This is the draw. Going to get around that center guard right to the Blizzard shot rock. Aggressive. He's gonna rub it. He's gonna skate out into the open. An aggressive call. He gets a little spin there, but this gives Blizzard an opportunity to hit and sit 3. Really look like they're looking at moving that yellow. Gonna come around. Fred, the lefty's in turn. The red, do they want to tap it over to that yellow, Gary? What do you think about this versus, did you see a tap on that yellow to sit 3 as an option?
Yeah. Look, I'm not, obviously it's what they feel there, but if you can throw the tap, nestle it back there and still be 1-2, nothing wrong with that. Puts them under a lot of pressure, but seeing as they're throwing the other turn, this entire end kind of know where the ice is.
Yeah, both teams really kind of ignoring that red rock in the top 12 that I believe is, well, now it's 3, but interesting that Moore elected not to hit it. And Fred, that rock won't matter as much if we're going to leave a couple of rocks in and around the 4-foot. I'd like to get this to 2. I mean, that's about what they called. It is not second shot. So Moore is sitting second. His last rock here to come.
Yeah, I think he throws this back line, tips him back. Well, no, he's getting a little bit of danger if he does that, because if he throws it back line and leaves the double.
Yeah,
double for 3.
Another rock there on the button. Starts limiting Blizzard's ability to get his 2. Yeah, I'm curious about how both teams really kind of discounted this, what could have been a Blizzard counter. Or, I mean, he could throw it to the shot rock. Think about, oh, well, let's tap and get shot out of it, but that would give Blizzard a chance at a double for a pile. I think you really got to look to make this a freeze, and even if he doesn't get shot and Blizzard's just sitting 1, it becomes a difficult 2 for Fred.
Yes, I mean, I don't really think he has a lot of options here other than to try to put it on top, and Fred gets his 1, he gets his 1, and gets the hammer back and move on down the road.
Yeah.
not liking it's a little out there.
Bit heavy and wide. Get this. It needs to be on top of that red somehow. That is...
I don't think he could have picked it up and put it in a worse spot than right there.
Fred's got a double for 4.
Just a simple nose hit.
That yellow that was just thrown. I mean, tough for us to see exactly what the potential jams are in the back. I mean, for sure it's a double for 3. He could nose that, lose both of those yellows. He'd have 3. Runs the back 4 yellow across the top of the yellow in the back 12. It's 4.
It's potential it could touch that yellow on the back of the 8-foot, but I think it gets past it.
I think so. I mean, I think it either misses it across the top or glances, and it doesn't look to me like it just stuffs and sticks in the 8-foot.
It'll either hit the top and then spin out the other side, or completely miss it, I think.
All right, so big opportunity here. Blizzard has a hit, looking for 3, potentially 4, to blow this game open here in the 3rd end. Wide. Looking to get it to curl. It's starting to come up. Little wide. So he doesn't get the double. He gets his 2. He'll feel nice, but I think not getting what was definitely a 3/4 is going to sting a bit. A couple of interesting calls there. More ignoring a shot rock, and potentially could have given up 3 or 4. Blizzard got what he wanted, that opening come around, and gave himself a chance for a pile. I mean, a deuce is nice.
Yeah, it's one of those things, though. You hate leaving points on the sheet when not a very difficult shot really to get the 4 there, certainly to get the 3. They just ideally just don't want those to come back and haunt you, because they come back to haunt you later, then start thinking about it.
Yeah, they get 3 or 4 there. It changes how Moore has to play. Now it's really just, I mean, it's still still a very close game. Doesn't force Moore to get hyper aggressive. He's got the hammer back. He's thinking, hey, if I get 2, I'm right back in the game. So let's do a quick run around the building. On sheet 2, 2nd event final. Looks like the APEL rink is... Jeff Wright standing in the way. I think that game is tied 2-2. On sheet 4, the 3rd event final, Montalbano rink is up 3-0 after 2. On sheet 1, the 4th event final, the Kenya rink from Milwaukee is up 3-0 after 3. And on sheet 5, 5th event final, Telfer leading McClellan 2-1 as they play the 3rd. On our sheet, Blizzard gets a 2. Their center guard slides into the rings. Might have expected a corner out of Moore. They hit and roll towards the corner, but it is in, so Blizzard's going to hit a couple of times, but it hasn't just been a straight exchange of hits. Eventually, this might end up off the rings, or someone rolls to the back, and something that can be ignored. Chad makes the hit. I think that's going to roll. Spins.
Spins in. Spins back.
Hangs around. Interesting. I like this more. He's going to put a corner. Not as if that rock will immediately come into play like those ones we saw earlier in the back 12. But if he gets a corner, That's something you might be able to hit and roll under from the outside. Or if Blizzard has to run something in, you've got potential jams. So Mike's going to put a corner over on this side. You sometimes see people just go with the other side. But
it's interesting to throw a corner on this first rock when they had a rock that's touching 12, and then this rock gets out the outside, throws the corner on the second stone instead of the first one.
we get the corner guard this time. Still early in the end. Still free guard zone. So Blizzard now still looking for his center guard from his second, Mike Miller. Fine, we're going to get a center similar to last time. It's a little higher than, no, it's actually, that's about perfect. I apologize to Mike. Not right on the center line. Gary stepping away for a second. Blizzard gets the center guard up, and Moore is going to come right around it with his second. Chris Glass. So Gary, they're looking, Gary's back. More playing to come around. Blizzard made a center guard. This is not going to be.
It slid over.
Yeah, it's behind the tee. Blizzard sees a bit of it. He's not calling for any kind of tap. If he gets right down to that, he'll be happy. He can freeze to this. I believe he can be shot.
You know, it's interesting. Mike could have peeled Fred's center line guard because that is Fred's only chance for offense. He tried to play a little clean and, you know, keep going to, just keep pushing the game along with low-scoring game, but drawing around, gets it aggressive, and puts a lot of rocks in play.
I'm glad he didn't. I'd rather see these guys throwing come-arounds and get some rocks in the rings. It's a nice shot from the Blizzard ring. A little bit of an angle. Moore has an opportunity with some quiet weight to bump that red back, get both these rocks moving out of the back four, and then sit under the center and corner guards.
I think he can get this shot rock out and not touch the yellow rock in the back.
Yeah, that would be plan A. I think if he, even if he nudges them both a little. If I'm him, I'd rather get under and not be dealing with all these rocks, hanging around the back. It's light. I believe he's going to get a piece of that center guard. Nudges the Blizzard rock in. Fred's sitting shot. He's got his rock frozen on a Moore rock. Half under a center guard. He's gonna throw a guard, force Moore to start opening it up.
He called the corner freeze here. Corner freeze eliminates run back, eliminates the draw. Force Mike to definitely have to hit it if he can make this corner freeze.
Carlson's probably limbering up already, getting ready to throw this peel. Looks pretty good. Looked a little hot and wide for a second. That handle has stopped rotating. So it drifts a little further. It stops curling. It drifts into the rings. That's not what they were looking for. Oh, here, Gary.
That rock was a little tough to follow down. The S turn to get it there.
I don't know if they can see what they want to hit with the out turn. If you threw a seed with the in turn. I mean, this rock that's on the V in Fermentorium isn't really more concerned. There is a potential triple to get all three of these reds moving. More important is some of those options look like they're just looking at opening up and getting a counter. There would be an opportunity to basically run the rock covering the ER onto the shot rock, get them both out, and sit 1-2. Not the big weight, a little bit more of a controlled, quiet weight. I think what Mike wants is to get that guard out of there, but he kind of looked like he wanted this shooter to end up somewhere, you know, as a
8 foot on the 8 foot on the right hand side of the sheet here.
Yeah. Start building a house over here, and you know, Fred keeps playing guards. It can start getting a little dicey. Does get a nice roll, so he is sitting 2-3. Yeah, it starts eventually could start forcing Fred to think about how hard he wants to play these guards. You miss a guard, Moore does something to that shot rock, and all of a sudden he's sitting 3. I mean, I agree, Fred's going to throw the guard again. His other option would be to get down in here, put another one around the button. Basically looking for what he wanted last time.
Yeah, if he can get half under that yellow rock, top 12, I think is where his ideal position is, and he'll deal with anything higher.
Exactly where he's tapping, yeah, either one. Half on top of the yellow, half under the yellow. Wide open isn't great. If it were, you know, short of the yellow and wide open, it wouldn't be, I mean, it wouldn't be as advantageous as the last one was for Moore.
6 a little hot and a little wide.
Hanging on that yellow corner. They're lucky they'll get a little split off it and roll into a good position. That's fine. It's available to be run back, but it is a red rock that would be run back. Certainly possible to make this double, split that shot rock off. They didn't go after it last time when it was 4 feet closer. Could run the yellow in, even if they lose everything off the button.
Or you could just open up just try to open it up here.
Yeah, what do you think, Erie? Last time Carlson was throwing, I loved the red double. They didn't throw it. I'm looking at this now. They could be running their yellow in, giving themselves a chance to sit a couple. Not that yellow, but top yellow. That's what Carlson's looking at. Getting late in the end. I mean, Mike's got to open this up at some point if he's going to give himself a chance.
I like this call, where Mike's pointing his broom. Just tap this yellow rock to the other side of the 8 foot, get it underneath those 2 corner guards, and then leave yourself a path, potentially to that red rock later. That's an aggressive call, trying to build a big end.
Yeah. Yeah, he's definitely looking at some aggressive options that don't involve blasting these. Looking to keep, control his shooters, control the rocks he's running in, not just scatter them around the building. But if they keep leaving rocks up top, he'll find it hard to score. It's his second last. It's his third last rock. So it's not as if we're getting down to skip rocks quite yet. Did you see what they settled on? Is it tap that yellow back?
Yeah, just move that yellow rock somewhere towards the 4 foot, slash over to the 8 foot. I think the Peel, they're a little concerned on the rock that Terry just threw, the high red one, that it jams on the red one underneath. and then spins into a bad spot for him. So I think this is it's a good call. Tap it back there. A little light, however.
Not going to look so good
If he
just leaves another rock staggered on top of the rings.
Oh, yeah, I don't think he could picked it up and put it in a worse spot than he wanted it there.
Yeah, that's the downside of that call.
Yep.
The outside yellow, could still be run in or tapped in. Fred's got a chance. He could guard those yellows. Tapping around. I don't really like it. Like messing with those. They do look like they want to get under that yellow and potentially to the face of the shot rock. The downside there is if they hang it, if they leave it on the corner where it can be seen, that would give more an option to.
Or they wreck on the yellow rock and open it up and give him a little easier path.
Don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Look like they're playing like, hey, let's throw it top 12, try to get it a piece under that yellow. If it's curling nicely, we've got the opportunity to drag it to the red.
Yeah, certainly wants to throw 3 foot off the house, weight out of his hand, and then let the sweepers figure out where they can maneuver it. Looks hot from here.
Hot and wide, if we're to believe the sweepers.
So here, I think maybe you try to go back 4 to outcount the rock in the 8 foot. It's checking up. Look at that thing turn in. Oh my goodness.
That spun too. That handle came off and it hooked very nicely. I mean, they'd like it to be 1 foot further, but they get what they wanted out of that. They lessen the danger from these yellow runbacks.
That rock moved 1.5 feet in the last 3 feet.
Yeah. So Mike gotta open it up. Kind of lost some of his chances for running stuff onto the shot rocks. I mean, he's made some aggressive calls. They haven't worked out, and this is then what you're faced with.
I think Fred's call. I think Fred's call before where that rock is. If it doesn't go sideways in the last 4 feet, I don't know if that shot was technically makeable to get it there without.
Yeah, you can't get it where it is.
Put on the brakes and sliding sideways. Fred may have a radio controller in his pocket there to steer that around that.
I think Mike thinks he can wiggle this yellow back onto the shot rocks and open it up.
Yeah,
looks like it was a little tight out of his hand. That looks like they're getting about what they wanted.
Yeah.
Gets him moving. Unfortunately for him, he moves his backing out. It leaves Blizzard sitting 1-2. So they played pretty aggressively. Didn't bail early with Blizzard in a good situation. And, I mean, Fred could do nothing now, and Moore would have a tough shot to come in and get his 1, not give up a steal or 2, and Fred's not going to do nothing.
Yeah, they're looking at hitting this rock on the 8 foot, which forces, the best Mike will be able to do is to get 1 by
Would
playing
you
the run
consider?
back.
I mean, as I look at it, I see this path. I mean, it's tight. It's not a fun draw that Mike potentially could have for 1, or maybe they don't even feel it's there. Maybe they're worried that if Mike were to run his top yellow,
right,
double those reds would be for 3 if he were to make it. They hit and roll this.
No,
and
it'd only be for 2. The top red is out counting the third yellow in here. I wouldn't be completely opposed to drawing back 8 foot around these corner guards over here, out counting the rock they're going to hit. There's a little risk there because you could leave it hanging there and give them a double. But that's That's way to get 3.
Yeah, I'm not
Steal
up there
3.
with them. Again, I'm looking at this port and wondering if Fred considered guarding it, or Fred would be able to draw into that and sit 3, all in the 8-foot.
Yeah, this is a defensive play. It limits Mike to 1 point at the most.
Yeah, it's
Still
going to
got
give
to make
Mike a tough, tight draw if it's even there. You still might steal your 2 or 3. Got to stick it.
So we'll see if this draw is available. I'm assuming that's what he's going to have to throw. I think it's there. I think it's available to get there.
Yeah, the key is the weight and get it moving. If you might need to get a little tap off the red.
We've played on this sheet once earlier. That broom, that's the broom to get you to the center of the 4, but it puts a little rub on that rock, the red rock, in the 8-foot into play.
Yeah, weight's going to be important. If they have to go early, it'll make it tough to get it around these outside guards. So they're going.
Yeah.
That's
pretty good.
You're going to need it to curl late.
They did hang it out there pretty good. This looks good. Good on it. Hurry.
Around the top red.
Oh.
2.
That was as good as Mike was going to throw it. It was makeable. Just missed the sweep call there. That was good enough to be made.
Yeah, I think they did have to wait a bit. I mean, that was the danger. If you were going early for weight, you'd have some problems with lines. So they let it start curling, and by the time they picked it up, it just didn't have the weight. So a tough shot. Mission accomplished for Blizzard, and that they forced him to throw that, and they get the bonus of the steal of 1 out of it. Puts him up 3-1 after 4.
Yeah, so now Fred starts to go in here instead of guard. He'll play a little more conservative here and throw this to the top of the 4-foot.
We're happy to see that we have 51 viewers. Jeff, are we approaching a high for the weekend?
That's the highest.
Oh, we just
I've
lost
seen.
one. Gary said something. They heard Gary's voice and bailed. We are super happy to have this web stream up. We get a lot of positive comments about the games as they're live. Those who curl in the event love having the opportunity to go back and watch. We're happy that people enjoy doing it. Jeff and John and everyone else do a great job here at the club. Gary and I are thrilled to be here covering the finals of the first.
Happy to have you on the calls, too.
Thank you, Jeff. Good to hear your voice. Well, quick run around the building. Sheet 2, finals of second event. Jeff Wright, 47-time winner of the first event out of Exmoor, is leading the APEL rank from Milwaukee, 3-2. Well, that was after 3. They're now playing the 5th, so we'll wait for them to post the fourth end. On sheet 4, third event final, the Montalbano rink throwing a shutout as we wait for them. Well, no, they're playing the 5th. Montalbano's up 5-0 after 4. On sheet 1, finals of the 4th, Canyon rink also pitching a shutout. They are up 5-0 on the Taylor rink. And on sheet 5, the 5th event, McClellan trailing Telfer 3-1 as they throw final rocks in the 4th. In our game, Blizzard's up 3-1. Mike Moore from Mayfield has the hammer. Blizzard wisely went first one, in to the 4. Didn't quite get there, but he's in the rings. He puts another one on top of it. I like the call. Execution's pretty good. Moore went hammer, as he basically has to at this point. Did I say he went hammer? He went corner, he has to this point. He does have the hammer. Thank you. They got the corner. Nice spot. And now he's looking to come under it. He can't. He's got to leave Blizzard alone in the middle there. And get some rocks. If they don't get this there, if they get sort of a second corner, it's not the end of the world. Backed corners, not all bad in the 5-foot, 5-rock free guard zone era. Blizzard's going to pile another one in here, look to tap and improve his position, and get a third rocks in the rings. This is how it goes when you've got a lead. Blizzard definitely, in control of this game. He's got the only deuce. He's got a steal halfway through the game.
The good part about Fred stacking these rocks in here is we're going to get to see the lift in a minute.
I don't think they're getting the tap.
That's a little light.
Nestling right up to it.
That's fine.
Still got 3 rocks they're going to have to be dealt with. I think Moore sometimes kind of saves these for Carlson. But you know what? He's got his 2 corners, and he would have an opportunity to play off of that. He could elect to play off it and try to roll under the corner, or roll right on top of those reds. What he doesn't want is just where this rolls into an open spot. Blizzard just starts picking his rocks off one by one. He's looking for just off nose, sit on top of those reds. And then what does Fred do? Start peeling corners? Last, it all depends on exactly how well this is made. Gary, I might have, I don't mind that he's hitting. I don't like looking at those 3 rocks on top. I might have tried to hit and roll over under my corners. This is really tight. I think they're going to miss. Just super tight out of his hand.
Yeah, the hit and roll under, I think the problem with hit and roll under is it rattles into it doesn't get removed. The rock that it's hitting just rattles it back into the one. Only one, it would have been pretty hard to move rocks there. Throwing a little control to get under. Still think he'd have been looking at 2 rocks still in the house at least.
Yeah. I mean, he needs to get some rocks over under those corners at some point.
Yeah, he's got to use it for
Usually
sure.
you're looking at a hit and roll off of some rocks around the 4-foot. Fred, an embarrassment of riches. Sometimes you get to this point and you're really like, I don't know where to put it. You obviously aren't, some people might think, oh, you don't have hammer. Why don't you guard those? You're leading. You're playing a good team. The last thing Fred wants is rocks in front of the rings that could come back to haunt him. You basically, sometimes you just throw another one on top of the pile, make it a 4th rock that Moore eventually needs to get moving or out of there. Actually, he's going to get a nice tap just to put him right onto the back of the button. Fully covered. Moore has an opportunity to hit and roll under the corners and open those up. That would be fine. I like him trying to roll back over that way under his corners rather than on top of the reds.
Yeah, he's got to. I mean, you throw the corner over there, you've got to try to use it. That's his easiest way to score too. This is narrow again. Oh no.
He's gonna get it. No, he's not. So they would like to stick that. They do not improve their position much. They don't stick around. They change Blizzard's rocks from 2 rocks half covering that to 1 fully covering it. And give Fred a chance to come right to the nose of that guard. That'd be great. I mean, he's saying that the longer guard's okay. I don't love it. I don't want a center guard up there. And if Moore rattles off something in the shot, you're back in trouble. That may have been hey, this isn't the end of the world. I want you here in the 12-foot. If you leave it on the center line a little short, okay. It also may have been his call. I mean, it would be aggressive. He's in a very nice spot. If he gets a center guard up there, Moore's going to, I think, make a play on it. But this is hanging. They're going to have to work to get this back to the center line. They don't get to the center line. They don't get it close. Excuse me. Really don't get much out of that rock. Gary, if I'm playing a hit, running that red in. I mean, you've got a chance to make the double and get under your own corners or under the rock that was just thrown.
Yeah, getting under the rock that was just thrown doesn't technically help him because those 2 rocks are over there.
Yeah, and it probably wouldn't make the double.
Yeah, I think
he's got to get it just off nose on the high side, catch the one on the way by, and see what kind of roll you can get out to shooter's right.
Yeah, he tends to throw decent weight at this, so he can hit it pretty thick. Got to slide over.
Oh, remember what we would call normal take?
Yeah,
it's very close. They like it. The late sweeping. Get a lot of the nose. He makes that's good as you were going to do. Makes the double. Doesn't roll fully under the corner. Blizzard's still sitting 1. See the rock that was just thrown. Gonna have to come at it from the inside. So, nice shot by Moore, capitalizing on the missed guard by the Blizzard rink. Blizzard's still in good shape. Moore's still chasing him, but things certainly look better if you're the Moore rink than they did a rock ago. Gary Walsh makes the hit. Blizzard back sitting 3 and controlling sort of the top of the rings. Moore doesn't have an obvious, place to go.
I think he's going to draw around that guard, which you commented earlier. You really don't like throwing the guard there instead of piling it in because it creates offense for Mike, and it's played out exactly what we were talking about. He comes around, that gets it to the top 4, covered.
Yeah, the other thing I can see, a more difficult shot, you could throw a back-to-back line on the rock that Terry just threw and then look to roll off to your left and under these guards.
They're going to look to throw the double to get these red rocks out of play. This is there to do some cleanup, but
gets shot. Gonna force the Blizzard rink just to follow him. A pretty elementary shot. It's not automatic. Gary, that doesn't improve his position. Been chasing the whole end.
Yeah, Fred's been wide today, so see if he can dial it in here.
Not, it's not vital that he even stick this. He'll still be sitting 2 even if he hits him all the way. He needs to remove that. Moore would be in the same spot of kind of looking at this mess and trying to figure out where does he generate some offense. Eventually, I'm seeing like a little out-turn draw down the middle, even if you get like back behind the tee, give you a chance to be shot. Not as if he's ever going to get all the way out of this. He'd be happy to get his 1 here.
Yeah, Fred's
available.
A little wide
called
again.
It, Gary.
Yeah, it's just been a trend this game. It's been a little wide with that out-turn hit.
So, as usual, we don't know what we're talking about. Moore throws what seems like a shot that doesn't do much for him, and he gets a miss, and now he is sitting shot, and his 2 is very much in play. Chance to tie the game if he can execute a couple of shots and get his deuce. A quick update. We have had a final on sheet 1. That is the finals of the 4th. They took the numbers down already. Kenya was up big there. I'm going to assume that they won. The Scott Kenya rink from Milwaukee coming off the ice now. Winners of the 4th event over the Taylor rink. Thunderous applause. We do have quite a few spectators here, Gary. Sunday morning at the men's is a good morning.
Because there's still food left.
Is there any wine left? You guys, or did you drink it all?
There's still more.
Okay. Scrounge something up for this afternoon. More. We wanted to get. I think that was meant to be a little.
It's meant to be
a little tap on the red.
No,
it wasn't meant to be.
He was just throwing straight draw, just throw it wide.
Oh, really? I wasn't sure if they meant to rub off that red. They certainly didn't want it to be third shot.
It's wide and outside.
Going to give Fred another look. So Moore has a look at a deuce thanks to a blizzard miss, and follows that with a miss of his own, and Fred's going to have another look at this. He doesn't want to jam there in the back. Shouldn't be a problem.
Terry took super aggressive broom there. He's taking the same broom again. We've played out here. If you take another 3 inches and just throw something that's controllable, you can sweep it to that rock pretty much all the time. If you throw narrow broom here and Fred has to pick the weight up a little bit, it's a little bit outside, it will sail on you. So surprising that they're taking the exact same broom again.
Well, they must have, deduced that Fred popped it or Fred floated it. It wasn't the ice. It looked to me like they knew it was wide all the way.
Yeah.
It's not like they've had a problem with anything snapping on them. This is Fred the lefty. This is his straight turn. Going to hang a little more than if this were my intern.
I expect him to make it. Fred doesn't miss that twice very often.
No, he's got Chad on it, looking for the straight. Get that hit. Question is, do they get any kind of jam in the back? They absolutely do stuff it, and they leave it shot.
Yeah.
So we've had. That was an option here. Had basically 3 misses in a row, and it means Moore can throw basically the exact same shot he just threw. Stop it in the 8-foot, and he's going to get his 2, tie this game up.
I think you have to go back to your point on Terry's rock where they threw the guard. That guard has, since that rock was thrown, has controlled the end.
Yes.
Has put that created all of Moore's offense. So.
Yeah, I'm sure they thought we're in a great spot. We could steal one and really gain control of this game. But that rock didn't cover anything. The double was made. The rock has been an issue probably on Fred's first hit. It did not help, and Moore has made the draw for 2. And we got a tie game after 5. Blizzard, is going to have Hammer in the 6th. Still, slight advantage to the Blizzard rink. They would have rather. They were in position to steal even if they don't throw that one off the rings, and certainly to make more work for his force or for his 1. But lucky for us, we got a tie game after 5. A lot of interesting ends. Enjoying the game so far. How about you, Gary?
It's been a good game. There have been really a lot of misses, so quality of the curling's been pretty good.
Yeah, we've had a couple ends, get blown up by made doubles and well-executed shots. We've had some misses, which is to be expected and not egregious. Just, sliding a little deep, sliding through. Fred, the Blizzard rink getting the unfortunate jam there. Or generates a skips deuce by throwing one into the back 12 and getting a jam.
Yeah, from our standpoint, for us, I think it's been a good game. We've been able to, there's been some interesting calls where you can have a few options. So,
Yeah, it's always interesting to watch some good skips, and even, there's always room for disagreement. We don't agree, always with every call. They'll have their reasons. I would shudder to think what some of them would say if they watched me call a game. So, fair play here. The good news is we have the microphones. And they do not. So Moore gets his 2. Again, he's still slightly behind in that if everyone were to just get the 1s here, Blizzard would have the hammer in the 8th and the big advantage. So Moore, well, he certainly wants to force. He doesn't want to go crazy. I guess he'd be well, if you were going to think about a steal, this would be the time to do it, Gary.
yeah,
Flip the hammer here, and you're thrilled. Whereas if he just lets Fred get his 1, then Fred has the opportunity to play hard for a force in the 7th. And I could see where Mike might go aggressive for the steal here. He started with basically got exactly the kind of mid-range center guard you would want. Blizzard executed, the come around to the top 4. That's great. And looks like Moore's going to get the freeze. I mean, Gary, we've seen 3 shots exactly the way you would kind of draw them up for both rinks. Should be a good end. Potential for some fireworks. This obviously, if Moore goes hyper aggressive, Blizzard could get a big number. It'd be exciting if we see a steal or make Fred really work hard, get his 1.
yeah, that rock unfortunately curled past, kind of got through the line there. So,
Yeah.
looking at the corner freeze, but kind of got over there on the other side.
Yeah, I thought they were going to be 100% on the nose, frozen right to it. I mean, club level, it's pretty well made. It is it wasn't as if it was in the open and Fred could just blast it out of there. This is hanging and traveling. Chad's a little deep. Rock is probably going to come back into play, Gary. What do you think? I think that'll be the last we see of a Rock in the back 4 with everything else that's about to happen.
I think it's definitely going to come into play, and be interesting to see who takes advantage of it.
Mike's looking to basically shot they just threw or just called. Obviously, doesn't want to curl past, doesn't want to get a little deep. He'd love to put another one right on the face of that red, so that if that yellow center guard ever starts coming into these rings, yellow would have some backing and protection.
So it looks a little harder. Look, back 8 weight.
Took his cues from Chad's last rock. Then some. I think this is going to skate straight into the back 12. That's probably also going to come into play. I think all these rocks are, people are going to rue the day they put the rocks in the back 8 and 12, one way or the other.
Didn't take long for that rock to come into play.
We were correct about that. What do you do for your Fred, Gary? Wait, we're still cannot peel that top one. 5 rock rule, not second nature. I often have to sit and think about it. Oh, yes, he can. This is the 6th rock. Jeff's nodding at me vigorously. I wasn't sure if it meant you're correct or yes, he can hit it. So he would have the option of peeling that center guard, Gary. Sometimes club level, not everyone has the second where they just think, oh, I'm going to start ripping guards immediately. In club, you're going to see people who just get comfortable with quieter games, some taps, and Fred's looking for...
I think Fred thinks that Mike's more comfortable throwing simple draw weight. If you can tap that back to the corner of the 4, get underneath stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Rocks in play.
Yeah, if you're watching the Olympics and you're watching the Scotties and the Briar, you're thinking, how come they didn't, make this automatic peel? But it can be a little different at the club level.
So, at the same time, that center guard that's 4 feet off, it's inviting to come around to the 4 foot there. So, you know, he could have ignored that rock 4 feet off early in the end. But once you go around it early, this is just what you end up with. A lot of rocks in play, and then you're going to end up rattling the rocks around and bouncing rocks around. And you know, hopefully you end up on the right side of the stack or the right side of the stagger, right, and get your 2.
Yep. Think more than a hit. I mean, there is an opportunity to slash that red and make a double. Pretty quiet. This is more of a hit and get one of ours, you know, under something. Little late curl.
Good spot for Fred.
Fred's got the hammer. Sitting 2, potentially 3, but you know, he's got one good rock sitting on the tee line. The ones in the back, yes, they might come into play, but you know, we got plenty of rocks left. Those are unlikely to still be sitting there counting. What do you think? What do you do here, Gary?
It's a tough spot because there's not really a good spot to put it. Right? I mean, if you try to draw down a corner freeze to the yellow one and you hang it, then he's got the hit to spill you around.
Guessing that, I mean, it will be very delicate. Eventually, Moore might have a look at his 8-foot rock. That'll be a tough little tap. I like this. Fred, get another one.
Yeah, I think this is the place you have to put it. It's just the way the rocks are set up. There's not really a miss by a couple of inches changes the angles and, you know, could create opportunities for Mike to do something with stuff. We'll get rocks moving. It's going to be
good.
Solid 4.
A little corner on that yellow would be nice. Not to have. That's very nice. That way that red's not coming back at you.
Yeah,
that's a really nice spot.
That's where he called it. That's where it ended up. Good shot.
Moore's got this. I mean, he's looking at the draw. There's also an opportunity to wick off that yellow straight to the button. Could make Fred regret, you know, some of these rocks that are up front. So not lost for the Moore rink. We knew or suspected they might be aggressive, and they're gonna be. And all it takes is one. With all these rocks in front, they make this draw. They get a little wick off the yellow, and they get shot, and they're going to force Fred to think about bailing. They do get just a rub. I mean, if they get another centimeter of that rock, Gary, they're right to the Blizzard shot rock. As it is, it's third.
And undercover. Or partly covered.
Yeah,
Fred's going to throw another rock right in that space. Guard that port up. It's interesting the brooms that they're taking. Fred's broom is a solid foot wider than the broom that Mike just put down.
So far, all of our rocks are in play. Only one not in the rings. It was a good, exciting end. Definitely going to be an instrumental end in the outcome of the game. Would be a more steal, but you know, Blizzard's already sitting 2. We've got the hammer. He'll have the last rock. He might have an opportunity for a big end.
They can stack this on the corner again. All right, so he's trying to get it all the way through.
That's. I mean, it's good. Gary, there's a double there. Double, there's a triple. I mean, more.
I think it's
really want to start throwing heaters in here. They're going to talk about it. Definitely, you know, the next couple of shots are going to be the most important we've seen so far, and have the potential to really swing the entire outcome of the game. So they're going to talk about it for a minute.
Yeah, we're rocks. With all those rocks behind the 4 foot, you know, it's too early to try to chip yellow rock on the top of the 8 on the right-hand side as you're looking at the screen. It's too early to get to there. So he's going to have to move the rock that Fred just threw, but I don't know where it goes. It just goes back into those rocks in the 4-foot. I mean, potentially throw like just huge hit these yellow and red rock right in the crotch and just see how far
He could
see
get,
what happens.
I mean, we know he's got the big weight, and he could get, he could definitely remove both of those red rocks that are 1 and 2. I think he'd send the one, hard right off the side, and I think it would still ricochet off and come out on our left. And it would probably sit right on that yellow. I mean, or Gary doesn't come across the top. I'll admit to not always being. It depends on where he hits it.
Yeah.
I guess he might send it right back into the pile and would only lose the back yellow, leaving a couple of these red counters. I mean, they may not have an option.
The trick is here, do you come inside out or outside in on it? If I'm looking at it, I'm coming inside out, but they're looking at it as coming outside in.
Keep an eye on that yellow in the top 8. I mean, now the way these are set up, that could be something where more forced to bail has to think about coming around and tapping that in. It would be
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. It's there, but he can't throw it. Yes, that's his safety rock to get out of jail card. If he later in the end, I think.
And I mean, it's going to be everything we want. It's a chance for him to tap, get a winner, and steal. And if it's not made, it's a pile for Blizzard. But I think this rock's going to kind of shuffle the deck, rearrange some of these rocks in and around the back 4. So we'll see how that plays out before we figure out Moore's next 2 shots.
Here's the lift. Here it comes. It's a missile.
Pretty steady. He's steadier, I think, with the lift. Gets him moving out. Mike looked like he didn't like it out of his hand. It was wide.
That's the reason why I like the inside out there. You're going to hit one of those rocks if you throw it inside out.
They did queue up. I mean, that yellow onto the red, onto the side of the other red is there. Something for Fred to think about. How do you guard that? How do you take it away? If you throw this guard and then Moore comes around and makes that tap, it's not good. But
do you ever throw?
What about a little tap?
Yeah. Do you ever
Shuffle
throw
those?
T out of your hand, hit your red one and that yellow one in the crotch, slide your one farther deeper in the 4-foot, and it may take away the safety rock over there on the outside, on the other side by shifting that rock.
What about kind of just a T-weight nose tap on the yellow rock that was just thrown?
Yeah, there, or hit it just on the inside a little bit, right? Just right where his broom is, just hit it right there.
Yeah, I don't know where he taps the yellow. Doesn't change much about where the red's going. They're pretty well locked up. But I can see what you're saying. He doesn't really want to put it on the nose and cue it up. If he could wreck the angle on that yellow.
And then wreck the angle on the other yellow, right? Because the other yellow's got the straight tap.
I don't know.
If he hits
I don't know if he throws it that hard.
Yeah,
if he throws it that hard, then his red is coming deep.
Yeah, I think he just throw it in the pile.
If he does that also, I think he moves the top red into the yellow and actually opens up that yellow a little if he doesn't really get it moving. We have a final in the 4th event. Montalbano defeats Lancourt.
That's a 3rd event.
That is the 3rd event. All right, so this is Terry's. playing Core Rink coming off, runners up in the third. Get a sense for exactly what they were looking for, Gary?
Yeah, what we were talking about, just T-weight, try to hit it just on the inside corner, just a hair off nose. Maybe hits it on
What
the
kind of
nose.
weight?
T.
Okay.
That's T plus broom versus what he was throwing. The red rock that they're dealing with now is he took it 8 inches more broom there. So I think that's just this is a T weight out of his hand.
It's not heavy.
Yeah, definitely
Not
not heavy.
wide. It's light. It's curling. Where's that center guard? I think he's going to rearrange anything
No, I just
at all.
nestled it. Did nothing. Needed to be 5 feet heavier.
Yeah, it's heavy. Terry's not happy. That wasn't meant to be that light. I mean, understand the hesitation to send it screaming in there, but they basically get nothing out of that rock. Or is he looking at his little tap game? Little
Yeah.
intern come around tap?
Well, I think it almost has to do it now.
Yeah, I mean, I could see him hammering the yellow rock that the Blizzard was just looking to tap, getting some reds moving. Mike's definitely shown, he likes playing some quiet shots, keeping his rocks around. You can try this once. Makes it good. I mean, it's locked in between those reds.
Yeah, if he makes this good, this is his get out of jail free card.
I think he wants to get it almost across a bit of the button so that this yellow-red combo isn't, queued up for it. But, yeah, tap this in. It'll be good for him. It'll be fun for us to see how the Blizzard Rink deals with it. So we've been looking at this. It is not easy by any stretch. But it's been there, and sometimes you got to make a tough shot if you want to win. A couple of draws last end ought to have a good feel for the ice. They wanted to go a little early. Not 100% sure if that's line or weight. We got both sweepers, which would make me think it's a bit for
A little narrow.
narrow, but if he comes just a hair
Oh,
off
does
that
he
red,
get
it's
it?
not going to kill him. I think he got it.
Oh, he got
Gary.
it. Yeah, look at
Very
that.
nicely made.
Great shot. Good sweeping by those guys.
Now, I
Hammered it out
think
there.
Blizzard can get that spinning around and moving. Could lose 2 of his reds. Keep this top red that's going to be sandwiched. So, a very nice shot by Moore. Probably couldn't have asked for any better, but it doesn't completely get him out of jail. We'll give you an update on, we already clapped for them. They were out there taking pictures. That's Montalbano again. Meanwhile, Blizzard, I mean, do you agree, Gary? I think that yellow catches the side of one red, potentially glances off another, potentially comes across the top of the yellow, if not sticking in the back. Ought to leave that red that is top 4 stuck right there around the top of the button.
I don't know how the shot rock gets out. I mean, ideally how it gets out is it hits the red rock on the right of the floor and then kind of does the around the world out the corner over here. But
yeah, could come right off the side of it, could come across the top of the yellow.
it'd be
So
fun
you
to watch.
think no matter what after this, I don't know they get that yellow. I think that yellow moves well into the back 4, and if the red middle rock could be stuck right there biting the white, but hopefully Fred hits this where he wants to, and we'll find out. Quick welcome to our now 60 viewers, including brother of Terry Walsh, brother Vic. Vic, good to have you. Thanks for watching.
There's some Exmoor guys watching. Matt Brown is heckling me by text. So
Oh, is that
I
true?
guess, yeah.
Blizzard looks like, controlled take.
Little tight.
Got Chad on it right away.
Just holding it there.
Pretty good, though. Oh, they're going for a little. All right, so it's going to be close. Gets it through, Gary.
Yeah, got it through.
Not a rocket. Well, not a rocket, so it didn't send it spinning all over the place. This isn't over yet. Blizzard's sitting 1, but it is directly under a yellow that's still there. Yellow can, Gary, is there a double there for yellow to sit 2? They send this red across the back of the rings, catch that back 4 red on the way by. Leave this run back rock sitting in the 4. They could be sitting 2. Exciting end.
Yeah, it's a great end.
Could absolutely determine the outcome of the game. I'm excited to be watching it. Guys have made a lot of shots. The strategy that we predicted is, basically come true, and helps when guys are making shots. And we have found in other games, sometimes all your commentary and analysis can go out the window immediately on a shot-to-shot basis when shots are, wildly missed and huge swings. But we're enjoying today's game. They're making us look pretty good as some of the things we pointed out have come true. I'm enjoying it.
Trick here is how much weight is he going to throw?
I think it needs to be enough that if he catches, a chunk of that back red, you don't want it just staying in the 4. I think he's got to be thinking at least, a back liner. Get these reds moving. You can't just leave them hanging around the 4. You got a chance to sit 2 here. And
from that broom, I can assure you he's not throwing back 8 weight.
Yeah, no, if it's a heater, then the yellow rock that he's going to hit, might not stick.
He's throwing
It could spin off that red.
He's going to throw normal up at this. He's taking 2 inches of curl.
Got to catch it on the outside. If he gets anywhere close to the nose, he's going to lose the rock that he's running in. But he's going to take the ice and throw the shot that he knows he needs to win. Sometimes you can't give yourself, half a shot and say, well, this will be fine. You got to make exactly what the situation calls for. I agree with you. This is not going to be light.
Solid.
Yeah, good up weight. Where's her on? Nope. I think it's close, given.
Actually, a little wide.
Looks a little wide. He's just going to get a piece of it, if anything. He's going to get the reds moving.
I got it.
Got it. Makes the double.
Sitting 2.
It's 1-2 on the top and back of the 4-foot. Fun end. Back and forth from shot to shot. More sitting 1-2 without. Gary, does Fred have anything?
Only thing maybe is back line, come around the center guard and hit your 2 reds and drag it in.
I was just checking with Jeff. Wanted to make sure the viewers knew. If you were looking and only saw those 2 reds, if you were looking at the tight shot of the house, you'd think Blizzard had a little tap on those reds. Obviously, now this wider angle shows you that the first rock of the end, the center guard is still up there. And Fred's definitely looking at it. He could see a hair of the inside of that and could throw like
just
a little hack waiter, back line.
Get it slided in there.
I don't know what else is there. Nothing to come off. There's not a double.
His only shot. This has to be extremely precise to get it there.
Yeah, he's going to have to get very tight on that center guard.
This is
if I were playing Fred, I'd expect him to make it. Fred's wonderful, quiet weight curler. Not here in the finals by accident. But this is tough. It's all they have, and they may be forced into it just by how difficult.
Go hurry. Chad's going to have to keep all over
Chad's
this.
Crushing it. If it touches the center, they're in trouble. I'm thinking, get by.
I think he's by.
Get off it now.
And great shot.
Great shot by Fred.
Great shot. That's about the best end we're going to see all weekend.
Great end.
Yeah.
More makes. Oh, you know what? And we got 2 more. I mean, Blizzard had a chance to. There was a big end potential. Moore has the chance to steal 2. In the end, Fred gets his. A hard-earned 1. Beautiful shot. Chad sweeping it well, looking to make Fonger proud. We'll see if that was up to the Fonger standards. And now he's got to get up and throw a rock.
Yeah,
Beautiful shot by Fred. What a shot.
Great shot. And great shots by Mike. There were a lot of good shots in that end.
Enjoyed it. Hopefully we get 2 more like that. So Blizzard / Walsh goes up 4-3 after 6. Playing the 7th. Moore team will have the hammer. They very much, they want a 2 or they want a blank. Getting forced is option C, D, and so on. If they can get a blank out of it, 5 rock rule. Some people don't mind or prefer coming home down 1 with the hammer. If they get a 2, they have an opportunity to force and have a hammer in the extra end, just to give people a feel for what skips are thinking about. Here's the situation. What kind of end do I want? Where do I start parting rocks to get there? And we'll see, based on Mike's first call, what he's thinking about. If Blizzard throws this in, which he doesn't, if that's in, Mike might think about hitting, and we'll play a nice open end in the rings, and I'll see if I can get my blank. It's not in. He'll start with a corner, see if a 2 starts coming about, and then go from there. Roger's been putting up some corners here in the second half of the game. They have that dialed in. And as soon as I say that, he slips the corner into the rings. I'd imagine Fred's going to hit it. It's out of the bathroom. Got a little break here. I do believe Fred stepped out the back of the building. Give Chad a chance to catch his breath. Give us a chance to say hi to our viewers. Oh, Fred's back. We do have a close game going on sheet 2 in the second event final. A couple of good teams, Milwaukee versus Exmoor. And the fifth event final on sheet 5 is looking competitive. So we'll give you some scores. We got a great game going here. Finals of the first, so we'll stick with that. Moore's rink slips their corner into the rings. It's not good for their chances of a deuce. Blizzard rink will try to hit it. Obviously, gonna see some half shots and some misses at some point, but an easy call for Fred. I don't even know how badly he wants to stay here. I mean, it starts making the force, but I don't want this rock sitting in the back. 4, 8. It's fine. Might entice Moore to put his corner over on this side. Gonna hit it. Did I tell you he's thinking blank, Gary?
Seems to me if you're going to hit this that you're thinking blank.
Yeah, that rock's not a threat. I mean, if anything, that rock eventually could have helped your 2. Get this.
It's a little wide.
Well wide from our. Might have stuck with the corner. I mean, whatever. That doesn't kill you.
Does Fred split these on to get 3 in the rings? Put the real force on?
Amp it up. I mean, yeah, how messy, they don't want this end to get all messy. Messy brings, bigger numbers into play. Maybe 1 more around the top of the rings, but at some point they don't want a pile of rocks like we were looking at last end. They're looking to keep this clean maybe not clean, but simple, and look for their, from their point of view, I think the force is best outcome. Former curler Bethany Irish has subscribed. Milwaukee curler. They still be curling. Gary, I don't want high guards. I don't really want stagger rock. That I'm fine with that. It's going to put them in the driver's seat. Moore will have to chase. That's great.
It's good.
Moore's going to open it up. I mean, we can see now he's thinking blank. I mean, it's going to take a double at some point, or just a flash last throw through by the Blizzard rink. But Moore is for sure looking for his blank here.
Yeah, that rock in the back 8-foot may be the rock that keeps him from being able to blank.
Yeah. Also a good chance something's going to catch that on the way by at some point. I would have loved it if it were right there. That was brilliant. Leaves a rock up top.
Yeah, he creates a corner there now. So depending on if there's a miss here and there's an opening, he hits and gets into that corner, then two's in play.
Yeah. Yeah, some people think blanks and playing for blanks, or you look at a scoreboard and see some blanks and some kind of boring game. Ask Fred or Mike if they're finding this very simple and boring, and I would assure you they're not. Hearing the screaming from the Olympics on the TVs through the headphones. Or Scotty's, apologize. Good to have, I mean, just all the curling you could ever want going on right now. We've got Olympic mixed doubles. We've got finals of the Scotties. We got the jewel of the online curling world, finals of the men's first event at the Milwaukee Curling Club. Brett, they put that in a good spot. Brings a double into play. Little deeper than they wanted, but I'm glad it's not, 8 feet off the rings either.
Yeah, get the bonus and get under here.
It's hanging.
That's hanging out.
They're going to get anything more than the top one or peeling their own.
Oof, the force is really on now.
That's not good. So, force potentially out the window. Does Moore have to start thinking about, is there something I could draw to and try to conjure up a deuce out of nothing? Obviously, right now he'll have his work cut out for him to get his one.
Fred's throwing the center line guard.
It's aggressive. Not at all saying it's wrong. It's aggressive. We've seen him at once in this game, basically a situation like this, a little more complicated end, but something where I think I would be coming to those reds. I really don't want something off the rings. If I come to those, you're kind of forcing more to make a double, make a triple before you can even think about, threatening you. You hang this, you leave it off the rings, you give him an in. I think they see that this is really hanging. Trying to get it as close and tighten it up. They get the center guard, Gary, but I won't be surprised if that rock becomes a positive for Moore. What do you think?
For sure.
I could see an in-turn, or I can see an out-turn draw to the button, to the corner of one of, no, they're looking at the in-turn, but I mean, the whole out-turn side is open if he needs it for his one. If he needs it to get a little corner freeze. That rock made this end more interesting than it already was. And I think where it is an advantage to Moore.
I think where that rock has made the end more complicated for the Blizzard rink.
Yeah.
And more complicated for everybody, but I mean, especially for Fred, the force is everything that he needs.
Now they're going to get tight and peel it out, and that'll be the end of our talking about that rock.
Let's see if he throws it back there. Oh,
Got it. No, that wasn't the call. They wanted the shot rock, so they forced Moore to burn a rock. But all our conjecture about what that rock would mean for the rest of the end is gone. They were looking to play something, get those blizzard rocks in the 4 and the 8 moving, get their shooter somewhere. Instead, they get the peel. Fred doesn't want to put it right back where it was, does he?
Well,
They wanted that first one. Terra's first rock was supposed to be off the center and much deeper and on top of those reds, not just not a perfect center guard.
He's tapping. He tapped 4 feet off the house the first time, and he tapped 4 feet off the end. Here he's same spot.
All right. It's aggressive. I want it like, I'm happy if it's almost like biting the 12. Very similar. I mean, it's a little more of a guard on the Reds than the last one. Last time, Moore had the opportunity to throw a hit, a down-take hit, and get those Reds. Now, I don't think he does. Now they're talking about Carlson wants to throw the double peel. A hyper-aggressive, all-in call would be the out-turn draw to the button, Gary. Do you see that? Look on the monitor. It's there.
It's there, but I think I would peel this again.
Yeah, it's early. Carlson seems, this seems to be sort of what they like using him for. Made several upweight hits and gotten rocks moving. He only, almost gets that annoying rock off the bat 12. Instead, they just get the straight peel. Blizzard all in on this guard. That's fine. I mean, they're making more burn rocks. At some point, more, it could, his last one right now, he could be stuck with that out-turn draw, which is not going to be a picnic.
I think if Fred throws the guard here, throws the draw on his 7 rock.
I think so. I don't disagree. That'll be another must-make. See how good Fred makes this guard. Switching, obviously not only from Terry to Fred, we go righty to lefty. Okay. This is where I liked these guard calls all along, Gary. I mean, yes, it makes them more double or triple. You're sitting 4, all stacked up. You're looking at probably 2 rocks, 2 well-executed rocks before you'd be out of. I like that all along. I don't know if that's exactly where they wanted it, but my brain immediately went to something like this, which probably means it's going to completely backfire.
You're still looking at.
Moore's only got 2 rocks left, so if he's going to get a deuce, they're both going to have to count. He obviously needs to think about how he's going to get his one. I mean, he's going to get his one by, if he has to, by coming with an out-turn draw. Blizzard's probably going to leave him that, protect these rocks, leave Moore a draw against a pile, depending on how many rocks Moore gets moving on this. I mean, they're stacked up. There could certainly be 0 rocks around the center of the sheet after this. These aren't as lively as tour rocks. They're not as dead as some club rocks, but it'll take a rocket to get 3 of them moving more than a couple of feet. But he doesn't need them to be out. He's never going to be drawing against a clean house. He needs to get some access to the 4-foot. This rock's not going to end up probably in a real threatening place. Shooter.
Yeah, as we said earlier, though, that rock in the back 8 is the rock that created the force. All the other rocks are.
Yeah.
That rock has
That was
been
Chad's.
been a problem. Yeah.
Chad keeping his shooter around. So we got a big weight hit away. No one's touched it yet. He's going to get a couple. Gets all 3 moving. Gets Blizzard completely off the 4-foot, away from the center line. Blizzard still sitting 1-2, but going to leave more with some visibility and access to the 4-foot, whether Fred taps this to the 4, Moore will have a hit. Fred guards it, Moore would draw. Gary, what do you think about going like kind of like even with your reds? Put 2 reds there where he can't hit and get shot and shrink his draw. Do you see what I'm saying? On the left side of the sheet, kind of put them next to each other.
You could do that, or you can throw the tap if he makes the perfect tap.
I don't want to move this yellow. I don't want to tap and move this yellow to where eventually it's, out counting the bat,
No, don't hit the yellow one. Hit your red one.
Tap your red one.
That's what they're
away
looking
from
at.
the center.
That's what they're looking at.
And then they'd sit 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
And they'd basically be saying, hey, have the draw against 3. I don't hate it. I mean, Fred, they're looking at the yellow.
Oh, they're not looking at the yellow. They're throwing the draw. They're throwing the draw, tap.
They looked at it. I'm going to verify after the game that they looked at the yellow.
They looked at it. I hope somebody let's quickly get that out of your thought process.
Look at all this ice. I think they settled on leaving those rocks alone or getting a little rub on the red. I don't know that I really see the
He's going to throw
the
right
value
down.
in that.
He's going to freeze down to the red rock. Or move it just a little. If you can tap it to the corner of the 4 and sit on the center line, that makes the 4-foot. I think he's just trying to narrow the 4-foot where he has to throw the pin.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to have the 4-foot. They just want to shrink it, make it so it's the 4-foot and not, hey, hit the 8-foot and you get your 1.
The risk of this shot is if you chip the yellow one into the ring somehow.
I'm sitting right behind. I think they're going to get nothing out of it. So we don't know exactly what the plan was. I don't think it was guarding a rock in the top 8. More than want to get forced. They're looking at whether or not yellow onto red lines up and picks that back red off. Now, I think if it were makeable, the question is whether it's for 1 or 2. All right, they gave up on it. Draw 4 more against 2, trailing by 1 in the 7th. If he misses this, it's essentially game over. I mean, Blizzard would be up 3. If he makes it, we're going to be coming home tied. Had plenty of opportunities to throw draws today. He's mostly had good weight. He needs to hit full 8-foot. It's not light. We got 2 sweepers immediately out of his hand. Third's coming out. They look like they're just keeping it moving. Doesn't look like. Oh boy, it is really. They got it.
There we go.
It's on the butt, Gary. Just get back in the house, Gary. No one needs your help. Only gonna hurt. All right. Fun end. Fun game. We are tied after 7. Finals the first event. Blizzard rink, Walsh rink from Milwaukee is going to have the hammer. The Moore rink from Mayfield going to be going all in for a steal. Still playing on 5. McClellan is in control. Game, Gary.
Yeah, all 3 games look pretty good.
Enjoying it. Oh, Sheet 2 is directly behind the monitor. I gave up on it. You're correct. It is a tight game, though. They're playing the 8th. They got 3 rocks to go. Right has the hammer. Well, we'll get back to you on that one. Can't see it. It's not as exciting or as consequential as a game we're watching where Moore wants to steal. He very much does not want this ring to slip in, or this rock to slip into the rings. It doesn't. That's position A. Next stop for Moore ought to be another one. Just a foot or 2 over the hog. Line them up. Fred's
throwing rollout insurance here to the.
Yeah. I mean, I know why you do it. I mean, if you really, trust your lead, you can come right to the button and say, fine, we're going to be in control of this. But club level, you see those, in the back 4, exactly where you don't want them. A lot of skips will put this up. The old rollout insurance. I don't know if I've ever actually seen it become the rollout insurance. I have seen it get in the way of your peels. It's fine. They got their one. Moore's going to go for, like we said, a high center guard. The reason you want to line these up is so that there's no angle for the double peel. Leave them a little stagger that lets someone slash across the top, peel both guards, roll the shooter out. You see that at the high levels, and all of a sudden, all your guards are gone, and it's over. Now, we won't see that kind of weight here, but if he stacks these up, or freezes to it. I mean, they are very nicely lined up. These are not, tour level rocks that go exploding out of the shed every time they're hit. Here.
So I think
Fred's going to
tap on the red here.
I don't really know how many rocks I need, I need my one. I don't know how many I need hanging out over there. They're going to be probably peeling. And sometimes you get a bunch of rocks scattered around this one side. It limits your ability to peel without something sticking. You could have seen him throw that through. You could have seen him say, now, hey, there's 2 really good centers. I'm coming around. They elect for the tap. That's one way to do it.
I'm okay with that. That's kind of out of the way. You're gonna have to throw the 2 guards are so close together. He's gonna peel them the next rock anyway.
There's more. Yeah, Moore's got 2 perfect ones. Does he want a third? No, he's gonna go see if he can get shot rock first.
Yeah, this
looks tight. Roger jumped on it right away. You don't really want to rattle these. Got this nice angle. Light rub. Not the end of the world. Here at the club level, having 3 rocks across the top of the 12 gives them some options for taps. Fred's going to look to get 1 or 2 of them moving. Fred wants it open. Be less open because of some of the rocks sitting here on the left side of the sheet.
He has no options but to try to hit this, and if that yellow rock slashes into those reds in the corner, so be it.
Yeah, it shouldn't matter. Fred wants this open. Yeah, if he can get both yellows moving, the one on the center line, out the back, roll the shooter across, push this other yellow towards the reds, hopefully get the shooter rolling back up and out. I think it's hanging a bit. Might catch the side one and just a little bit of the crotch.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's fine. If you're watching, you think, oh, I really wanted those out. That didn't do anything. Off the center line, and away from any draw path is adequate. They don't need to be over on sheet 4. And bonus is they left a rock in the rings on the 12. What's more do about that? I mean, there are no center guards left. Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
He's got to throw
Get
another
back
center
to
guard.
2 centers. Yeah, I mean, it'll be tighter, but
The only way he wins this end is with center guards.
that groan was for Jeff Wright's last rock in the 8th. Did not make his shot. The Apel rink from Milwaukee wins the 2nd.
No, they
Which
tied.
is-
It's going to extra innings.
You're correct. So, in our game, Moore gets that high guard. I like it. Forces Blizzard to peel. Really just looking for a single straight peel here. There's not any opportunity to open it up better than that. So, we'll see how, obviously you could get a nose peel, get a miss. At some point, Moore will be forced to come around. But we got several rocks before that.
Yeah, you should see guard, peel, guard, peel, guard, peel, guard, peel till rock 6 or 7.
Yeah, sometimes you'll see if it's obvious it's never going to be 100% open. You start realizing, like, hey, Fred knows he's never going to get it all the way open. He eventually is going to go first, which can force Moore to go first. It just depends on, how perfect the guards are. Both, neither draw path, Gary, is, wide open. The outturn wide to the 4 is there, won't be a picnic, and the outturn has those pesky rocks from early in the end.
Not this rock. This rock should be out of the way for it to get to the 4-foot.
Crawl this over on the center line, replace the one they just threw. I mean, these are nicely made guards.
Yeah, and high enough.
Yeah.
His
We're
problem
seeing
was
some good shot making. Blizzard's
the
making
problem
his
was on
peels.
his first 3 rocks, they got too close together and stacked up and gave Fred the advantage to being able
Yep.
to double peel there. When you're playing and you tell leads to throw guards, a lot of times they don't understand that some guards need to be high and some guards need to be low. And the reason for that, they don't understand. They're just like, oh, I threw the guard. And you're like, it's 7 feet too deep.
Well, Terry makes his first peel.
So they should
And a lot of made shots and kind of playing out the way we'd expect.
So now he's going to try to put this guard a little tighter. So if Fred tries to remove it, it's potential for the jam.
Yep. Yeah, could get one bouncing back into the center.
Yeah, the closer you get to the eighth rocks, you start to inch the guards a little closer, so you can use them.
This is Matt's first rock, I believe. So everyone's stepping in, making guards. We've got nice curly ice and rocks. Making guards isn't as easy as some people would have you believe. Walking them down and putting them right on the center line, but we've seen several in a row from the Moore rink. And so Fred and Terry are at least going to talk about this, Gary. That lines up nicely for Fred's intern draw. They might be talking about, we're not there yet. But they are talking about, hey, how long do we keep peeling, or at some point do we just go first?
Yes,
I imagine that's what they're talking about. They're not just lining up peels. I think they'll end up peeling, but they're at least discussing when they might make a move.
This is rock 6, so you can either go on 6 or 7. So I still think I don't go yet.
Don't think they can double peel that. And again, that's not what this is. A strategy discussion. They're not lining things up. They're also not gesturing or waving in any way that would give us an indication of what they might be thinking. That was just a like, hey, how long do we keep peeling? You're still on your thirds rocks. Expect to peel. Fred's just kind of looking at the angles. I think it's a straight peel. Again, it is not super consequential, but that is Blizzard's rock already sitting one in the 8-foot. So Moore has to beat that at some point. Not a yellow that will, Fred will have to outdraw this right
That's
now.
why I think you peel this, because if you don't peel this, then for sure
Moore comes around.
Moore comes around. Even if you come around, Moore's coming around on top of you, and then it's game on with 4 rocks versus 2.
Fine. Guys are making their shots. Gary makes 2 peels, 4 out of 4. Moorink has put 3 straight nice center guards in a row up there. They almost had that, Gary. They almost had that in the spot where it was a potential jam on that side yellow. It was just a hair too deep.
Yeah, Mike's in a tough spot now. 2 rocks left. Fred's sitting 1.
I feel like he needs. I mean, there are times when you get the chance to go first, and there are times when you're only going to have one look at it. And I don't know. Off the top of my head, I feel like Moore still needs to go center guard once again.
Yeah, one more, I agree. One more time.
Yeah, if he had like another even kind of junky non-center guard up there to clutter up Blizzard's look at it, you might think about it. And he disagrees with us. He's gonna play this in turn.
This isn't bad.
He can come deep. Yeah,
coming around the high corner guard. It's not. I like this call's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. There are, as much as scenarios like this, tied in the 8th, follow a common theme, with center guards and peels. Almost everyone ends up being different. And it's interesting to see the way people elect to play them. And there's not a wrong answer. More, if he could hook one around the yellow, around the red, and get shot. And actually, the further and further he could overbury, makes Fred's little tap back tougher. But getting under that red and getting shot forces Fred to probably play to the red and open it up and give Moore a chance to guard or put a second one in there.
Yeah, and I think coming around the red one down the center line, it's because it's top 8. It's going to be tough to get around there. I think you can cover more coming around the outside edge of this yellow one. Actually, a little bit easier to get to the 4-foot from here.
Yeah, it lines up pretty naturally. One thing I haven't seen them tapping, Gary, I mean, Matt just did it a bit, is the fact that it's not, if they can get, it's okay if they go deep if it gets them back to the center. They've got full into the back 8 where they can be shot. It's not ideal, but
I think they'll try to get corner of the top 4, or maybe full size, touching the side 4.
Yeah, if they do that, it makes Fred, maybe think about the run back on his red if they're just a couple feet apart and they're kind of lined up. Whereas if they bring it a little deep and more curl,
get off of it now.
It would be tough.
Good
this
shot.
is going to be made. This is
Right
exactly where Matt tapped his broom. Plus 6 inches. Nice shot.
Good, great shot. Puts pressure under Fred. Fred's going to have to run his back into that yellow one, or I think
they also look like they're considering following it. I mean, they could follow it and get shot. And then they would save their tap back. So that's one argument. They're also looking at the tap.
Fred's going to play the tap for sure. So that's his. He's good at that game. It's all weight that he can control and play. He has 2 options. He can tap it straight back to the 4. He can tap it back to theirs on the corner. So I think I like this call.
Gary acknowledging Mike's nice shot.
It's worth acknowledging. It was a good shot under
Been a
pressure.
great game, Gary.
Yeah, it's been a really good game. Hopefully you and I haven't mucked it up.
Let's hope not. People have mute buttons. Fred playing a little tap. I mean, is he playing just T? Just tap it to the yellow?
Yeah, a little tight, though.
A little tight. Wants to get shot out of it. Doesn't want to just bump it into the open. Gary, it's not heavy.
Tight. Well, let's get in there.
Getting pretty good.
Yep.
Oh, I think he's rubbing / coming around. I don't think he's getting shot out of this.
No.
Doesn't.
That was not ideally where you wanted to leave it.
Great center guard.
Yeah, center guard.
Take away I mean, Fred's got a nose tap. Fred will have, don't know if he just ruined his own chance to follow Moore's original shot. You know, if Moore makes a center guard, Fred might have looked to follow Moore's first shot.
Yeah, I think if he throws a center guard on the center line and takes away the tap on the top red and takes away the slide path into the rock he just tapped, this forces Fred to throw corner 4 around a tight spot.
Yeah. And the red, they just have to red a tiny bit into the way. I mean, it'll be there. Shot to win the Bonspiel. Shouldn't be easy. But we'll see, you know, what he decides to do here. And,
corner
and
freezes.
how good he does it.
I think it'd be corner freezes on the top right-hand side of the rock on the top of the 12-foot. Pretty much, or maybe a corner freeze to a foot higher than that takes away everything but the draw to the. And I don't even know if you. I guess you can touch the corner of the pen around that corner, but whew, that's tight.
Can Fred see enough of the red that's in the 8-foot? Can Fred see enough of that to run it onto the yellow?
Yeah, that's
I
why
think they kind of need to take, like you said, they need to almost take away
both of them.
Both of these.
Yeah.
Inside corner freeze on the top one. Don't want to bump it because then you'd kind of make it accessible. Don't want to not get, you know, in front of the second red. Could also be high and take both away.
Yeah, I think a foot.
That'll leave the tap. If he leaves it real high, it leaves a look at the tap.
Go now. Just sweep it a little bit. Angle. There you go.
That looks
good spot.
pretty good to me. I think we'll see as they walk away. I think he takes the tap away. I think he takes the run back away. I mean, Fred has his in-turn draw. Won't be a picnic. Or he has his out turn, which is the shot that Moore threw on his first.
So he can
back to this rock in the back 4.
He can either follow Mike's shot down and get down to the top of it, or he can come around to the corner of the 4. So does he want to throw in turn or out turn?
Get more at his in-turn side. They're looking at, could we come off that red? I think they're just, you know, making sure they haven't missed anything.
I think
in his in-turn draw, I mean, he's got to get a piece of the button. Won't be a picnic. Great end. Great game. Lots of made shots here in this end. And, you know, we had a middle end or two where we saw a bunch of misses, but I want to say the last 3, 4, 5 ends have been not only exciting, but very well curled and swinging back and forth from shot to shot.
So it looks like they don't think they can catch the corner of the 4 coming with the Fred's end turn, so they're going to throw the out turn here. So it's interesting, you know, Fred being left-handed, Mike being right-handed. Path is a little different.
Yeah.
Trying to get to this back 4. So remember in the 6th end, Fred was able to throw one in there and it went sideways on the went sideways and tucked under.
Yeah.
So
now in this case, yeah, he's coming from the further hack. You know, the line is just that little bit different, and he's throwing his straighter turn versus Mike was throwing the in turn. It's definitely there. They've seen it. They'll have to make some adjustments for the fact that it's Fred coming as a lefty. I mean, it's makeable. We just saw it made, and that took, you know, perfect weight and line.
It's a little warm and toasty. Slowing down a little bit. Now they
Yeah,
gotta go.
coming now.
Look, they think it's
Gotta
tight.
go hard. Close. Very close. They got to get around this red.
Oh, hurry. Hurry.
Don't think they got it there, Gary. They don't.
No.
The steal of one for Moore. He
Yep.
wins first event at the Milwaukee Men's Bonspiel over the Walsh and Blizzard rink from Milwaukee. That was a really exciting, close, and good game.
It was a great game. You want to flip over here to watch final end of sheet 2.
Yeah, we'll wrap up the game we just watched in a minute. Meanwhile, let's catch up. We are in an extra end, finals of the second event on sheet 2. That means both of these teams lost their first game but have not lost since, including last year's champion, the right rink, against the APEL rink from our own Milwaukee Curling Club. APEL has the hammer and is red. He's sitting 3 across the tee.
He's sitting one. He's sitting 1, 3,
Oh,
and 4.
yeah, that yellow. All right. I mean, APEL's got a bunch up there. Wright has his first skip rock to come. So we'll kind of get ourselves acquainted with the house and see if we can figure out what's going on.
Like he's going to throw the double tap here. We'll run back.
Okay.
Not sure where Chris was going on that last shot. Looked like they were trying to maybe draw under that.
Yeah.
The shot that he's getting ready to raise.
Looks like while our end, our eighth, you know, tied end played out kind of the way you thought, with a lot of rocks around the center coming around. This one, you know, say we're definitely got out of whack early, and now we see rocks scattered all across the house and, you know, off the center line. But that'll happen. We're gonna have our first event guys coming off in a minute, I think. But we'll take you through the end of this game and then wrap it up. Jeff's won this, what, 7 or 8 times, the first event? A regular?
Yeah, he's had his fair share.
I think he's promoting his yellow onto the red. You know what, Gary? Wouldn't even get him shot.
Got to move that. He's got to move that rock though. So it doesn't really
They
matter.
lost it. That doesn't do much. First event coming off now. Moore rink receiving their applause, followed by the Blizzard rink. We have 3 shots to go in this game, so we'll stick around for that.
So Chris's first rock here. They're talking about. I like leaving something blocking this way to the 4-foot. Put it on the U on the center line on the top 12, right? Whereas I think if you try to get too aggressive there and you slide it into the 4-foot, you give him a chance. It's got to be above the tee at all cost.
Yeah, having not seen how this end developed, I'm trying to just kind of get my brain to catch up to. I mean, Jeff Wright only has 1 rock left, and he has to be shot after it. And APEL's sitting 1-2, both touching the 4. I mean, what would Jeff do to get shot if APEL did nothing?
Come around.
He can't do that tap.
Come
Yeah,
around the yellow and tumble in underneath there. So hit the yellow on the right side, or hit the red on the right side of the 4-foot and tumble under.
yeah. Or
With
just like
back line.
draw to that side with a
Yeah.
little like rub off that red. under the yellow. Yeah, I agree. It would leave Apel something. So, yeah, if Chris puts this here, where they just tapped in the 8-foot, that means that he might have just like a 6-inch tap, or tap onto a potential right rock. This is okay.
Yeah,
You could screw this up and put it on the back of the button.
Yeah, you don't wanna
ruin
be
your
having
whole
your-
world. Yeah. I mean, whatever. As we've said in other games, sometimes it's not enough to say, well, if it's here, that's okay. They need to put this full 8. If it's too far, it really cuts down their shots on the next shot. And if it's deep, it helps right. Now, this looks like it's pretty well where they want it.
Yeah, he wants to get a little bit farther to help with that tap.
Yeah, I want it in the 8-foot, so I've got and I don't want it under that yellow. That doesn't help them.
No.
Wright can now draw in turn around that yellow and the red that was just thrown. He's got this side red is something that you could potentially come off if you're hanging. You could elect just to use it, but I think then you're more rolling into the back of the 4.
I'm surprised I'm not looking at the shot that we were talking about. It must not be there. We must be at a goofy angle.
It's wide open, Gary. I don't know what they see. I don't know what 7-time winner of the Milwaukee Men's Bonspiel sees over here. But I'm going to guess it's something. They're now finally looking over on our side. I mean, I don't know if the color's wrong. Gary, why aren't they in turn drawing around that yellow and red? It's like a path
They are.
to the button. Okay. And you've got some, and if it hangs, if you're heavy, you can rub that red, you can get shot. Apel kind of just took away some of his options. That rock only helped Jeff Wright. That took him from I wonder what I'll do to there's one shot and it's a game winner if he put, this is like the Moore shot we just watched. Jeff puts it in a good spot. Chris is going to be in trouble.
Yeah, just has to throw back 8T plus, back 8 weight.
So you are thinking of tapping. You're not just thinking you could draw around that stuff.
I think the tap
And
gives
you
you
have
more,
the bailout on the tap and roll.
I think the tap gives you more margin for error, right? Trying to just throw straight draw.
I mean, I would be throwing, hey, this is draw, but it won't be, it won't be light. I wouldn't be throwing a tap out of my hand where if I don't get the red, I get nothing.
No,
it's
for
like
sure.
a draw with some options. They're brushing, not in a panic. This tells me they're close. I think they got to go. Now they're going with a little more. I think they crashed.
Nope, they made it. Made straight
Right,
draw.
right there. Beautifully made.
Great shot.
It's a little deep. I mean, whatever. It's wonderful. They had to hammer it to get around the yellow. They took it a little deep, and maybe the little deep made their angle better in that Apel can't see enough of his rock. The further they get that under, the less Chris can see of the rock he wants to run on. And the fact that Chris is, I mean, it's there. It's there. I don't know. We're not. It's there. It won't be fun.
You can throw hack weight on the red rock out here and roll on top of the yellow one. He's got 2 shots.
He's not doing that.
Which one he likes?
They haven't looked at that side.
Yeah.
And I do think they can see what they need to hit. I mean, it's very tight by the yellow. They don't even have to totally baby it. They don't need to stick. They just need to figure out, hey, this is what we need to hit, and what's the weight and broom that we're comfortable throwing.
Yeah, it's for sure there. And he put that rock there specifically for this next shot for this shot anyway. That's his last rock was set up for this shot anyway.
Yeah,
they
came a centimeter from not having this. If that overcurls just a hair more. Phenomenal shot by Jeff, and what a great day of curling.
Yeah, it's been good.
Great couple of games. So this is Chris's last shot. Chris Apel from Milwaukee. He needs to bump his own red back onto the yellow.
They're hammering it.
They're sweeping hard.
Looks good. Looks good.
What a shot. What a shot. What a game.
Yep, good shot. 2 great shots at the end.
Send this broadcast to the Hall of Fame. Good curling. at the
Great
Milwaukee men's. A lot of made shots, had a ball. So yeah, Chris Apel wins the second event. That's a great weekend for them. They defeat regular event winner Jeff Wright. That's a big, nice weekend for them. And just to recap, we had the Mike Moore rink from Mayfield, winners of the first event. That is Mike Moore, Matt Carlson, Chris Glass, and Roger Meredith. Congratulations to them. A wonderful game from the Terry Walsh rink from Milwaukee. That's Terry Walsh playing third, Mike Miller, Chad Dillevue, and then Fred Blizzard skipping and throwing the last rocks. They played great. We'll let these guys come off. Jeff, Kenya won the fourth. Monobano won the third. I think McClellan won the fifth.
Yep.
Great game. Wonderful event. Jeff Stefik, John Piakowski did a wonderful job with the web streaming all weekend. They've been here. It's a lot of hours. Thanks to all the volunteers. Jay Packer does a phenomenal job. Get out to the Milwaukee men's Bonspiel. Jay, given a few announcements. I don't know, Gary, do we have to say much more?
No, I think it's good. It was fun. Enjoyed calling the game with you again. So we
I did as well.
we really did get to see some really good curling. So
That was good.
That was the best part of the watching the curling was way better than watching myself curl. So that was
Yes.
good.
And we're finding it's a lot easier to call a game when the quality of play is high and your analysis and discussion of what's happening, proves true. Those guys made it easy for us, and hopefully we got more right than we got wrong.
Yeah, well, good. Well, Matt, it was fun, and we'll see you next year.
See you next year. Jeff,
All right.
Thanks a lot. Thanks to everyone for watching, and good curling. Bye-bye.